And a couple of things about me. Yes, you know, I consider myself, which I am an outsider, you know, to city government. So when they talk about, you know, I've been around the block a few times, reminding I am really an outsider. I am seeing this government, this city government, with some new lens, a new perspective, and with new ideas. After the election, several people called me and said, why don't you think about running for mayor of Oakland? I said, what are you talking about? I talked to my children and they said, oh no, you've been there, done that. I said, no, I haven't done mayor, but they said but they said, like Pam, they said, well, you know, you need to do something else. And I said, okay. And so I would not do this if I didn't want to do it, because, okay, I want you to know that. And so I've had meetings since November 6th with labor, with the business community, with activists, with Dem clubs, with so many sectors in Oakland to get a handle on not only what people tell me day and day that it's a mess, but also to understand why they're saying this to me. One of my former colleagues in DC said, well, how are you going to do this after a month of my having these meetings? I said, well, you know, what I've learned is that Oakland, first, you know, I have to figure out how to steady the ship, and I think I can do that. And so he said to me, he said, don't you know that would be a big win? I said, oh my goodness, the bars. And so
Stan wants to know how all her access to Washington, which has been taken over by the brown shirts, is going to get us some more funding.
Let me tell you, if anybody knows how to get money out of Washington, it's Barbara Lee, being an appropriator and a budget. And I want to make sure that we get all the money that we've appropriated, you know, because it's always a year behind time. And so the big issue right now is because this Trump administration, you reach Project 2025 if you haven't. He's going to destroy the Department of Education, and he can claw back, impound money that we've already appropriated, but he has to do it based on a law that was passed in the 60s that allows a president to do that. Now, given that the Republicans have the House and the Senate, it's possible that he can do that. And if there's a dime left, I'm gonna know where it is and I'll be able to get it. But believe you me, this administration, we're gonna have to look to the state and public-private partnerships and other ways to get investments here into Oakland. I tell you, your help in making sure that people are informed about ranked choice voting is extremely important. And we're asking people to only vote for Barbara Lee because we don't want any games played with second and third choice. And so putting the word out and educating voters about ranked choice voting is extremely important. And so that would help us tremendously if you could do that and just say vote only if I'm so lucky to receive your endorsement and your help to vote only for Barbara Lee. So it's not confusing. Kitty, you know what? The press has not been that favorable toward what I've done over the years, and I don't know how to deal with it. I just try to communicate directly with people. And I mean, I have a long record. We can get you everything.
But what I'm hearing, you know, because I'm in another part of town, is the concern of how you're going to make the jump from legislator to the mayor.
Well, if you know me, you know I'm hands-on, first of all. I make transitions pretty easy. But I understand what people's concern is because I've been not necessarily living in Washington, but I'm there 4 or 5 days a week, back here 3 days, back and forth, and I've never worked in city government. So you can see it as a glass half empty or a glass half full. The city needs new ideas, it needs new energy, it needs leadership, it needs transparency, it needs accountability. And if people don't think that I can manage and bring people together, then they won't vote for me. But I hope they understand that making this transition is something that I thought about very deeply.